motivational speakers that I know, for the most part, even if you look at their product ranges, and it's priced so high that the average person, and I mean, I have not been able to afford a lot of things that I like, whether that's speaking programs or class. It's like $10,000, to right? It's like a speaking mastermind or whatever, as I was coming up, right? And so I was like, screw this, I'll just be self-taught, which is what I am. So I think when you see like my followers, who I call go-getters, you see a lot of very like poor people. You see very struggling people. You see people in debt who all benefit tremendously from my free.
Also, everybody, welcome back to not even welcome back. Welcome to 2023. This is an amazing day. It's an amazing episode because I have an amazing person on. But what makes amazingness happen are the viewers like you. And if you want to keep seeing amazing content and amazing leaders like who we have on today, you know what you got to do. You got to subscribe to the not the newest YouTube channel, but now they got the things where you don't have to put the long URLs. It is CVMK. Just like it says on the screen, put in CVMK. You'll see it on the YouTube. Fanbase CVMK. TikTok, it is what it is. _ show. CVMK _ global for the sports supplements. CVMK 33. Basically, just CVMK. Just put in CVMK. You will find us. And if you want the best, I do mean the best workout products, best proteins, best creatine, super thing. I got the pre-workout with me, Superpower right here. You know what you got to do. www.cvmkglobal.store. And with that being said, I have a guest. This guest is a leader. She will be the new Barbara Walters, the new Oprah. And I'm telling you, in 5-10 years, you won't be able to get to her. This is a rising, budding, I don't even know if the word creative is appropriate. Just all around amazing individual who has really created something to service the world and becoming a go-getter, but we really don't know her story. So I asked her, I said, Shinjini, I know you've been on here, a couple times, but, can you tell us your story? So this is the story.
Yeah.
Shinjini, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Cody. And I mean, I'm just, I feel very emotional whenever I see you, because you've been there from day one. You really have. And I feel like we've followed each other's journeys from day one. And so I feel very invested in you, and you just, I feel like you really get me, which is not everyone, So I just want to say that.
No problem. Look, it is my honor to serve.
Yeah.
Shinjini, so I know that, before we break away, I know I got a couple I got the same sponsors, but some new added media. But before we get into that, I want the audience to know the backstory of you, because I think you have a very unique storyline, and I think it's going to resonate with more and more individuals, more and more Americans. I believe the landscape is not changing. It has changed. We just won't accept the fact that it's changed. But this is the now and the future. And I think it's important for us to understand how this uniqueness is going to make us all better. So just tell us what day one.
Yeah. Honestly, Cody, I think for me, it really started with, feeling like there's just no positivity in the media. There's no, motivation in the media. And what I felt 6 years ago is unfortunately still what I feel today, right? So if I am, looking for motivation other than quotes on Google, there's not a whole lot out there for me, and then what if I'm going through very specific situations, right, where I'm in debt, and I'm trying to figure out, should I get a master's degree or not? Where do I go for those sort of very intimate questions, very vulnerable questions, where I'm, struggling, to be honest, right? And how do I, how do I level up? I mean, how do I help myself grow? How do I become a better person? How do I make more money? How do I choose better in love? Where do I go in those very private moments, Cody? I mean, for me, I know that's at night, when I'm Googling everything possible, in self-help, from how do I make more money to how do I, have a better financial mindset to, should I go to college or not? Just all those very intimate questions. There's no platform, there's no space. And then most importantly, there's no media platform that just generates positivity every day. And not positivity where it's like you will achieve your goals, or what. It's like personalized positivity,
Right.
Because if I go to some platforms, they'll tell me, the sun is shining. Okay, great. But I have to feel that, and so that intersection of motivation, positive energy, and I would say personalization was what was driving me insane, because I couldn't follow anyone who I sort of admired. I couldn't see myself in anyone. I couldn't go to any media platform where I even enjoyed their content. So I think that was sort of what was driving me insane. And then as I've told you, I was with Deloitte for a few years. I was with a digital marketing company for a little bit, Georgia Tech, industrial engineer. And I think for a while I just thought, I know that sucks. I know that if Cody needs help, he has nowhere to go. He has no one to motivate him. But it's like, I think for the longest time I thought, I was like, that's great, but I don't think that's my problem, And I think for the longest time, that's what I said. I was like, whatever, just focus on Deloitte, focus on, this other job that you have, which, by the way, were very high paying jobs. I was doing very well, never really struggled too much. And then it just sort of, ate me alive. This problem, this issue, to where I was like, you know what? To be honest with you, that has been my dream day one. I can't even lie. I can't even say otherwise. And not necessarily like to be Oprah, but to be on TV, to have a media presence, to inspire people, to, like that has been my day one, dream. Just I never thought it would, come true. So when I was at this precipice of like, I really don't like my, corporate America, careers at all. I wasn't happy. And that's when I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. Because and I think similar to you, and that's why I feel like we gravitate to each other, Cody. I'm very like faith driven, God driven. I think it's fundamentally wrong that there is no motivation for people. And then just today I was thinking, I think what I'm really proud of with my media company, Cody, we're also motivating working class people. Right. And I think that's something that like I've never seen in my life, right? Most self-help brands, most motivational speakers that I know, for the most part, even if you look at their product ranges, and it's priced so high that the average person, and I mean, I have not been able to afford a lot of things that I like, whether that's speaking programs or class. It's like $10,000, right? It's like a speaking mastermind or whatever, as I was coming up, right? And so I was like, screw this, I'll just be self-taught, which is what I am. So I think when you see like my followers, who I call go-getters, you see a lot of very like poor people. You see very struggling people. You see people in debt who all benefit tremendously from my free content. And as I, grow and release, digital products, merchandise, physical products, whatever, I think you'll always see price points that are affordable.
Cool. Well, look, I want to get into that. I want to talk, and I'm going to follow up with dealing with that level of vulnerability, because I know that's not easy thing. And then to go from, I will say one thing, corporate America will show you what you do not like and what you do like. Like I say it expands the taste buds. So I really want to drill into that. And then we talk about that platform presence, because I agree. I mean, like whatever the platform, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it's not specifically just for this. There might be aspects that have motivating aspirations and whatnot and technique, but it's not a designated platform or a home for this, because motivation really, falls into a lot of different genres. But just a quick word from our sponsors.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
Also, man, we're back. www.cvmkglobal.store, where the best supplements, safest supplements are. Get it today. Get the creatine out. Hashtag super thick. All right. So we talk about that vulnerability, and you're right. When you have these questions, like, is going to college or the next level of furthering my formal education worth it? Will it really get me to whatever goal I have set for myself? And I would think, like most people, they'll probably either start with Google or Instagram or YouTube, probably in that order, considering Google is YouTube. But like, is college worth it, right? And I think that's a very dangerous thing, to just throw it up and see where it lands. When you came to these moments, these pivoting moments, right? Like, how did you harness that power and said, I can't be the only one dealing with these feelings, wrestling with this? How did you take this vulnerability and create a product for the everyday consumer?
I love that. And I want to say, Cody, right now, my product is content. I think if you look at any media company, their product is content. Even if they have subscription revenue, it's to like subscribe for content, so everything is like, content related. So I think for me, I think really the logic, and I still remember, that moment. I still remember that day, which was, I can't seem to find motivation, online from someone who I relate to. I can't ask anyone all my questions, because I feel like no one even knows anything about, the answers. I am, Indian, I'm brown, think about everybody else who's brown, who's black. I mean, I think for me, as I was going through this, I just started extrapolating. I just started projecting, that me as this female, like, think about how many women are there in the world? How many brown women are there? How many black women? That's when I was like, this is something really, really big, because, and every single person I knew was struggling with the same things, right? But similar to like everything, they weren't doing anything about it, right? They weren't, like, as you know, a lot of people don't even give advice to others, and it's just, they're just like sitting there going, yeah, it sucks. And I think I even like ran this by some people of like, oh my God, it's so sad. Like, there's nothing in the media. There's no, Indian person. Everyone agreed. Every single person I talked to was like, absolutely. Who do we have? Everybody's an actress. Because the other issue I had was like all famous, media people. I was looking at Indian or whatever. None of them like have a college degree, right? Because if you're a journalist, you're not like mainstream, popularity, right? I mean, but it's like an actress, all of them like dropped out of school, which is fine. Like, if that's what you want to do, that is amazing. I have great respect for the hustle, as you know. But what about like me? I went to college, a lot of young people went to college. Where is our sort of role model, in this. So I think there were a lot of aspects that I was playing with. Everybody I talked to, 1,000% agreement. They're like, absolutely. And even some people, I think I asked like help. I was like, how do you, like, where should I start? And literally they were like, I have no idea, but I know you're going to figure it out. I think every single person sort of said that, right? And that's when I was like, whatever, I just, so, and that's still how I feel today, Cody. I mean, think about how many problems they face, but like none of them want to solve, like our friends,
That's true. I think
yeah, it sucks. Like equal pay. They're like, no, women are not paid, as much. Yeah, that sucks. And like that's where it stops. So, but I'm like, how can I, train women to like ask for more money? Is it coaching? Is it consulting? Is it webinars? Is it like, that's kind of where my head is, as I'm trying to build like more go-getters. But I think people are just like, yeah, we're paid less, sucks to suck. Like that's kind of,
yeah.
Or black people are paid less, sucks to suck. But I'm sitting here going, shit, if I were black, I'd be like, I should be paid because I'm black. Like that would be my, like, So
I agree.
but it's like everybody I talk to, they're like, yeah, we're not paid as much, sucks to suck. And I'm like, this is not it,
I think you hit something on the head, and I've seen, the content, because I think when people hear content, I think the traditional norm or stereotype is some type of music with it, some type of funny thing, very Instagram reel, no depth, no thought strategy.
Right.
But you're actually like, you've been to Honduras. I mean, you've actually led seminars in front of thousands of women. I'm talking about from 10 to 60. I'm, a very wide range of building a mobilized force and creating structures and pillars that can actually foster this change, which is different than an influencer who just holds the phone up on a certain side so they can't see any of their parts where they need to lose weight, and and says, hey, look, you need to go get it, so like that to me is the defining marker of what differentiates yourself. So for you, so you mentioned like not seeing yourself, right? Why is this still a thing? India, 1.3 billion people. India also has the second largest demographic in South Africa. Just found that out. So the population representation from a numerical standpoint is there. But you're right. The only time that you see it in mainstream is through Hollywood personalities.
Right.
Do you think go ahead.
No, I think it's great, right? If you're an actress or a writer or a dancer, I think my concern is that, again, when what you just said, talking about like concrete change, talking about mobilization, and I think also talking about really building up other people, Cody, I think that is like, I don't see that with anyone, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, if I can mentor 4 people, I'm good. But if you see, to your point, my whole identity is about producing go-getters, and that is a very different vibe. So I think, to your point, you're absolutely right. And that's kind of where I'm, and then also selfishly, I was also looking for a STEM degree woman, which now that's even less of a example. So I think that, because I that's kind of where I'm, because even not like, because I mean, you can like predict, right? I want to do all of that. I want to act, I want to do movies, whatever. But I think you'll see that my movies are all like self-help. So it'll be like, black men talking about mental health, being like, bro, you should do this, you should do. So then if Cody's watching it, I want him to be like, oh my God, he was struggling with the same thing, and this is what he told him to do, and maybe I should do that. Like I will try to penetrate like your heads with like self-help content in a interesting way. So I think even that educational piece, I think, is like missing in the media now, just that substance piece, like everything is very like fluffy, to your point, very fluffy, very, sexy, very, I think everybody's like trying to fit in. You see that a lot, which is why like, the Black Panther, the Wakanda, I mean, I repped so hard for it because I found it very like original and very boldly African, it's very African, and like that was awesome because I think that's kind of more my vibe, where it's like unapologetically like yourself, and
Right.
I'm not trying to like fit in with white people.
I get you. Assimilation is,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, toxic.
yeah, yeah,
I do like. I think that when we try to, it's great to embrace and adapt.
yeah,
But when you adapt and you lessen who you are to
yeah,
adapt,
exactly.
that is absolutely a no-go. So, so as far as investors, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things like in every business pivot, they companies want to look at how do we scale up,
Yeah,
right? How has scaling up, like how has this journey been? Because
yeah,
it's a very interesting tango. There's
yeah,
many different ways to do it.
yeah,
I had Joseph Lafko on. He's a real estate mogul, but he's actually from Israel.
yeah,
But he talks about, so he did it because he acquired this large loan from a
yeah,
bank because he's from
right.
Israel, right? And
Uh-huh.
and had the resources, came over here. So like that's a different kind of path. That
Right.
path doesn't fit everyone. So how has this scaling up journey been for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to, Cody, constantly take stock of what's working for you. I think in the
Right.
beginning, I was so caught up with like, oh my God, look at my audience. It's very, very like mostly poor, people, very struggling. And oh my God, how am I going to monetize this? I mean, for the longest time, like I was stuck there, right? But I think that after I, came to the realization that, hey, this could be a massive opportunity. I mean, which motivational brand even targets working class people, even thinks about their, struggles, and by the way, all of them want to be go-getters, and they're not quite there, and this could be a huge opportunity for me, right? And so I think the minute I sort of pivoted my thinking, I started really, really cashing out and saying, you know what, do you want to sponsor a go-getter, right? I can work with them, privately answer DMs, or send them my biography at 26 that I wrote, Unapologetically Shinjini. And I was asking for anywhere from like $20 to $40, sometimes even less. And even now I say, my minimum is $30. But I mean, if you want to do 5, I'll take 5. If you want to do 10, I'll take 10. And last year I clocked in almost $15,000 from that, which is not insignificant. It's not 150,000, but it's not insignificant. So I think always taking stock of what's working for you versus me being like, this sucks. Because I think what I have, it took me some time to acknowledge, Cody, I have tremendous volume, right? I have pretty much all of Africa following me. I have India, I have this. So there's a lot of volume there, right? And so on average, maybe people don't have, $400, for a consulting session. And they don't, I would say, my demographic. But they have $30. And they have $10. And so I think the way that I am now positioning my growth, Cody, is simultaneous selling. So on one hand, I have these sponsorships, which again, $30, $10, $5, is significant, right? People do have that, right? So instead of focusing on what they don't have, I think I've really pivoted to what they do have. And then, my $360 1-hour executive consultations, that is a different demographic.
Right.
Right. And my longer term enterprise retainers, different demographic. So I think instead of me being like, oh my God, look at this which I did, admittedly. I was like, look at this white motivational speaker selling $500 mugs. And by the way, she like sold out, in one day or whatever. I did have angst around that. I was like, that's just not fair. Like, why is she doing that? And I can't even do a fraction of that. Right. But I think if you look at my success now, I think me and her will be, honestly, I think volume will win long term.
I think you tapped onto something. So you service, like you said, as you service India and Africa. Yeah. I don't think people realize like that's most of the world minus China. Right. Like, it's really, I mean, obviously, we have North America, South America, Central, but it's to service that hub alone is you're talking about billions, it's not a lightweight thing.
For sure.
And you might, and because traditional mainstream media does not really target them, like I'm starting to see things, particularly on Netflix, to try to cater to, but I feel like they haven't really tapped in. Like Bollywood is becoming a thing, right? And I try to stay current on it as much as I can. Yeah, but it's not a real, to me, demographic that they understand.
No,
what is like what is stopping, like, and I don't want to say like stopping you, but let me speak into the future. Setting up shop, Botswana or Mumbai, having the DAS Media headquarters, start now creating the new wave of content, right? Like this is the new ABC, this is the new Netflix, this is the new Hulu, and it's really catered to this, right? Because the world is a smaller place now, right? And it's not just American media running everything.
For sure.
So is that the next evolution?
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, I would say, Cody, like I'm very committed to staying, digital. I'm very committed to staying virtual. I'm in Atlanta, as you know. My headquarters will always be Atlanta-based, everything Atlanta-based, media crew, Atlanta-based photographers, and that's already kind of my deal. Atlanta-based photographer, videographer, whatever, everything for me for the most part is Atlanta-based. But to create content targeting, Nigerians, targeting, Ugandans, absolutely. And you'll see that, in the content that we come out with. And I hope, once I'm at the point of like partnering with Netflix on not just shows, but maybe docuseries, maybe interview series, whatever. I mean, you'll see like, and I think that's the beauty of like me, I think, Cody, and everything that I'm doing. I'm starting to talk a lot less and just act more, So I think that you'll see, like, once I start coming out with like interview series and all, you'll see, Cody, that you will see more Black people in my stuff than you've ever seen anywhere else. You'll see more, I think, underrepresented, because I'm big on like presenting, the waitress as a go-getter. Yeah. Because to me, that's what she is, because I've spent the last few years, the lockdown and everything, just talking to, because when everything was shut down and just maybe a few restaurants were open at that time, like that's all I did, like talk to small business owners and the bartender and the waitress. And I mean, their stories are insane. I mean, she's trying to, go back to law school or whatever. And she's like bartending. And I mean, this is what people want to hear, and see and, believe in themselves. And so I think that, like, all of that is in my line of sight. Presenting real people with a hint of aspiration. Because like if you talk to the waitress, she thinks that she's shit, right? Because I've done that. She's like, oh, I'm not really anything. I don't really make much money. Now I'm struggling. But it's like how I see her is different. So I think when you watch our stuff, in the future, you will be buying through your view, our perspective, because I truly think all of them are go-getters and should like love themselves more than they do and whatever. So yes, short answer to your question, absolutely. Do I see any offices ever? No. but am I headed in that direction? Absolutely. Honestly, I do see a lot of partnerships with African media groups. So, if we cut deals with like BBB Nigeria or whatever, I think that could be a very interesting dynamic. But yeah, no, I that's kind of, I think you'll see our stuff is a lot more global than like other media, whatever,
I like
content,
that.
or yeah. And it won't just be like, oh my God, look, there's one, Chinese person. Like, I think no,
Right.
seriously, what I'm very bad, because one thing that I don't know if you've noticed this, Cody, whether that's romantic comedies or thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, it's always like one, like black woman and the white man, like it's
Yeah.
one or the other, right? And
Yeah.
even in like friendship movies or buddy movies, it's like one Indian and one this. I think in my stuff, I want to show you like my life, which is one black guy, one Asian guy, one Indian guy. Like, how about they all just like exist together? Like, why is that so hard? Because I feel like a lot of it's because I always watch stuff, and I watch a lot of the new Netflix content. I definitely see more people of color for sure, 1,000%.
Right.
But it's always like one Indian, woman and white man, and like that's it.
Yeah.
Like
No,
why?
there
It's just very limited still.
it is. It's like
You know, like
it's like we want to do it, but we don't want to
right,
do it. So
exactly.
this is the best way to do it.
Oh my God.
So it's
One thing that I've heard, which like was so upsetting to hear, but it's like so true. Like the man is always white, so we have that safety where it's not too, pushing the
right.
envelope, and the woman is never that dark, so it's not
So
good,
they work with it. That's true.
Yeah.
Here, and here's what I also said. Why is it that like when they want to create, love and whatnot,
Yes,
it's
yeah,
only between, like you
yeah,
said, the man
yeah.
is always white. Like it can never be a man of color. Like
Yes,
it's
yes,
always
yes,
like
yes,
it,
yes.
and you're right. There is
Oh my
definite
God.
do's and don'ts even in Hollywood today. That is definitely seen. I got one more question for you
Yes.
right when we turn from our sponsors.
I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
And we are back. www.cvmkglobal.store, where the best, and I do mean the best, workout supplements are. And we are also working on the clothing line. Give me some time. That is never, if you want to do it right, it takes a minute. If you just want to throw anything out there, then it's not that arduous. But I want to end on this. So we know the buildup is real. We know the vision. We understand what created this wave of energy and power. For 2023, if there is one goal that Shinjini has to accomplish above all else, like this is the make or break goal, what would that goal be?
Honestly, Cody, I said it, which is simultaneous selling. Okay, so basically what I did in the past was like, I got this enterprise on retainer. It's on lock. They said yes, 12-month contract, amazing. And then literally I was like, and I'm done. Peace out, fam. Because and now that I've like been doing therapy and stuff, I think it's because so many of us, Cody, come from that limited mindset. When I was like, oh my God, this contract is going to pay this, that's enough. Because I was coming from, $5. So, 60,000 compared to 5 looks like it's enough. But I think me today, it's like, no. If I'm really serious about growing my media company, growing my business, being debt-free, being fully profitable, hiring more freelancers, we have to keep selling, whether that is subscribers in the future or what. Like you can't just like make a sale and then stop, right? Because I think that was my pattern, routinely. Because I think when you for such a long time are struggling and you have nothing, you feel like all you need is one contract, right? All you need is one customer, and that's better than you've ever had, and now you're good. So I don't blame myself for where I was, but I think that now, as I'm into year 6 and almost 6.5, I think now we have to keep going, and that's what I've been doing already this year so far. I can say this month is I'm filling a lot of spots simultaneously, right? So whether that is my sponsorships quota, my executive consultations quota, working with small businesses on their messaging, on their content, on their branding. I think I was like scared in the past to run all of them at the same time. But now, I think because I've shortened the time limits for everything. Pretty much a lot of these things are an hour. So if a small business wants to work with me, pretty much they're buying like 4 hours versus a month of 20 hours a week or whatever. So I think I've done that really well now, where my time commitments are a lot shorter. As a result, the price is a lot more. As a result, I'm now finally gaining, not losing. So I think that has been, because I can't afford to like not simultaneously sell anymore.
I get you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Shinjini, you have been absolutely amazing. Thank you again for being on here. Truly the leader of tomorrow. So I'm super excited because when you get there and I could be like, she was on my podcast. So I'm looking
to me, I think we're in this together. To me, I think the more I might mature, Cody, I'll be honest, like from day one, I was very excited about fame, and I was like, I'm gonna be on top. All you bitches are gonna be, not at the top. But I think that me today, and this is like true maturity, which I'm like proud to, share, is I want to bring everybody up with me. I want to pour back into your business. I want, like, that to me now is success, because I think when you're at the top, I think it's very lonely. I think you're in this ice castle, and I've already experienced some of that, and it just doesn't feel as good, right? Oh, I'm in this ice, castle by myself, and I'm so happy and so successful and so famous, but it's like, I mean, what's the point, And then I get DMs saying that I can't eat today, and then you're like, wow, this doesn't feel, as good as I thought it would, So I want to like not just bring all of you up with me, but I want to, help you achieve your goals, and that's where
we gotta go big or go home. We gotta go billion. We gotta start with that B.
I think that's and if you want to know my honest truth, like I have no problems admitting that I definitely wanted the fame, money, success, power for myself, 1,000%. But as I got a little bit of it by myself, and I was in the hotel room by myself, that's when I was like, this doesn't feel as good as I thought it would. I have all the shoes, I have the bags, but then I'm getting DMs from my followers or go-getters saying that they can't eat today. So that's when I'm like, this doesn't feel as good, So I think if you've noticed my like brand, even I'm just a lot more grateful. I'm a lot more giving now than I was before, because I think to me, like if I can help Cody's business become $1 billion business, like that to me is a greater accomplishment than like I'm sitting in my ice castle alone,
Look, I appreciate that, because I would, trust me, if God allowed it, I would spend so much time trying to help other people. It would literally just be a
I know
resource for
that's
good.
like
right?
That's your
Like,
heart. I know that's your heart.
yeah, I'm serious. From schools to paying off people's debts, like I hate seeing people suffer.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
care who they are. Like that throws me off.
Yeah.
So, but that's why we're needing the world. Shinjini, where can the people connect with you? Where can they follow you?
Yeah. Speaker Shinjini, that's SpeakerShinjini. Find me on any social media platform. You know, I help dreamers become go-getters.
That's it. Guys, connect with Shinjini. She's amazing. She's on every social media platform. Hit her up. If it's Twitter, if it's Instagram, follow her.
Yes.
Support, see the content, and then see the work behind the content. And if you want to keep seeing amazing influencers, leaders like we have on today, you know what you got to do. Subscribe to the YouTube page, CVMK. And where the best supplements are, www.cvmkglobal.store. And until next time, guys, thanks. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep seeing amazing content, please subscribe at CVMK.